What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Fact Show. Hope you guys had a good day. I was live a little bit earlier on TikTok, so I've been working a lot. Um, just to give you guys some understanding about what happened today. Something just happened earlier today. The federal courts ruled that they were going to keep the ban on the Wartime Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which means they can no longer send anybody out of this country and do what they did to those men. They can't do it for now. You know they're going to try and take it to Supreme Court, and they got them in their back pocket. But for right now, those who are Latin or Venezuelan, you're not going to be shipped out of the country. Well, I can't say you won't be. They may do some illegal crap because you can't put it past this administration to break laws because they put the break law chief in charge. So, but by law, they can't send you out. So anybody that was on those planes today, they sending your butt home. They have to. Let them defy it again. I want to see some of them go to jail. Please, please send them to jail. Some of them, the men walking around with masks on and shit like that. You know you're doing something wrong when you got to walk around as a legal officer to do a job with a mask on. You know you're doing some wrong shit. Who literally comes and picks you up and swoops you up with a mask on? What is that all about? It's the weirdest shit ever. I'm like, dude, let me see your face. I should be able to just know who arrested me. I should be able to charge you if you pick me up illegally. I should be able to say, yeah, Officer Johnson, Mike, and that dude with the scar. Yeah, they were there. Those three, I'm suing them. I'm taking their house. Yeah, I want everything. Give me the salt shaker. Yeah, yeah. I don't want their toys. They can move that shit out the way. Yeah, the bed. I want all that. Bring it here. That's what I want. You shouldn't be able to put a mask on. What's up, Lynette? How you doing? Michelle, I see you. Big sexy for what's going on. But that's what I believe, right? It's like you can't just break the laws and then walk up and pick people up. And then you find out you've been breaking the law the entire time. All of them should be able to be sued. Every last one of them that put them on that plane illegally should be able to be sued. Venezuelan men, y'all might be coming up on a big check. I hope so. I hope so, because there was 14-year-old boys in that. Not men, boys. If you looked at that and was happy about it, you one evil son of a bitch. That's what I said. Just like our young man, well, he's passed away now, but Bernie Mac, son of a bitch. But anyway, other news today is that the Atlantic came out with the full-on article. See, these Republicans that are in office, that were empowered, that were on this Signal app, were challenging him, called him all kinds of names. All kinds of names. It was just insane how much they had to say about this man. All the crap that was going on that they said. It was insane. To be able to say, oh, well, they didn't do what they said they did, and it's not classified information. We've had less classified information become a huge issue. I mean, seriously. We've had people literally say that there was major problems with Hillary should go to jail for emails that you never saw them go anywhere. They were all on a secured server in her home. And you guys wanted her to go to jail, Leavenworth, all kinds of shit y'all want her to go to. Just because she had that. Yeah. And you thought that was wrong. And I can't say it was right or wrong. I'm like, yo, when it happened, I'm like, hey, take her to court, do what you got to do. Let's see what she had and what happened. I didn't say, no, don't charge her with anything. She didn't do nothing. No, you guys said you had evidence. We went through an investigation for years, millions of dollars. I had no problem with the investigation. Hell, I was there watching the actual video of you guys questioning her. I'm like, what did she do? What's she going on? I watched it. Like that shit was the OJ trial or some shit. I watched it. And then you guys had nothing. After millions of dollars, hunting her down, saying you had something, and voila, you had nothing. But we watched it. We saw you guys do it. Then she ran for president. And you guys literally every day she was there saying, lock her up, emails, Benghazi, hold her responsible. She be in jail, all these different things. If anybody did just a small smidgen of what she did, they would be behind bars. You guys did like vastly worse than her. Just ginormous fuck up. Way worse than her. Way worse than her. And you gaslighting people saying, oh, it wasn't classified. So you mean to tell me you can just send the average American citizen? Hell, why don't you just send the Houthis this information? Just send it to them. See if they can duck these bullets, these bombs. See if they can duck them. Because if it's out in the public, that means the Houthis have it too. So you're telling me that it's not private. It's what did the one lady say today? It's sensitive. You think? The fuck is sensitive? What the fuck is sensitive? Where do you get that shit from? It's sensitive. No shit. It's classified. Classified is a form of sensitive. Top secret is a form of sensitive. It literally means it shouldn't be in the hands of the average people. And never leave our government. And this shit was in Russia. Moscow even. And they're trying to tell you, oh, it's public information. No, it's not. It's public now because your dumb ass sent it to somebody. And none of y'all did roll call. Y'all did that shit in school. Johnson, here. Weaver, here. Lynette, here. All of us done that shit. And you going to tell me experts, the top of the top, supposedly. These people aren't full of merit worth a damn. And you guys didn't even go a roll call in the room to make sure that everybody who needs to hear this is here. Right? You did none of that. There was no checking. They didn't say nothing about Stephen Miller. You here? I'm here. Brian, here. That'd be McCormick. John Ratliff, dipshit. John Ratliff, here. Mike Waltz, another dipshit. You here? I'm here. Get down to the fact of it. JG, who that? Who JG up in here? Who JG? Can you speak JG? Who? Jeffrey Goldberg. Anybody know Jeffrey Goldberg? Who that? Everybody disconnect. Let's leave. Nobody did that. They had full on fucking conversation. In fact, he disconnected because he thought it was serious. He said, oh, they really doing shit up in here. Oh, I'm out. He was the only one that had some fucking sense to say, I shouldn't be here. And they had no sense to check if everybody is there supposed to be there. I mean, Putin could have been sitting in that room and they would have never known. Hey, anybody know Putin? Why he in here? Dumbass. Just play dumbass. Who that? It's just, oh my God. It's just the dumbest shit, dude. These are people supposed to have some kind of merit. What merit do you have that you don't even do the bare minimum? I wouldn't trust these people with anything in my life. Anything. If I had a pet, I wouldn't trust them to pick up its poop. I know they wouldn't do it. And people keep talking about this one incident. I want you to understand something. When other governments realize that we have got the Keystone cops literally running the country. If you ain't seen that, I'm dating myself. And I'm going to date myself again. Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello, Little Rascals. You just got dumbass people running the place. They know, well, we can get anything past those idiots. I mean, Trump just hired a bunch of dumbass people. I mean, Trump is already dumb enough. We got people here that don't know what the fuck they're doing. I guarantee you, they don't even know the acronyms of the positions in which they have. I guarantee you walk up to Pete Hegseth and you just give him the acronyms of his fucking job. He'd be like, what's that? You dipshit. I mean, I can't believe this. These people are empowered. You talk about DEI. That's what DEI is. White men that did not earn it. That's what DEI is for them. They did not earn their position. There's no way a weekend alcoholic news anchor is running the damn military. When there are military men who have been in a position their entire lives of power when he was in the military, he wasn't running shit. He was out there fighting. Thank you for your service, but you ain't smart enough to be where you at. You just proved it within months. This man has proved in his position. He's been there a couple months. Colossal fuck up. You knew he wasn't ready for prime time. This man was on the weekend. He wasn't ready for prime time on TV, let alone in the military. It's just funny, yo. These fools, just buffoons, walking around trying to act like, well, you know, I always wondered this. Maybe I need to ask white men. I really do want to ask, and not all y'all have this, but you got to know somebody. What is in you to believe that you deserve everything, even though you don't have the skills or the traits to be able to fucking accomplish it? What is it with you that you don't have any kind of like, I shouldn't be here because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing? What is it with your ego that you literally think you can be in a position in which you have no fucking experience to be able to lead people when you can't lead your fucking self? Donald Trump led himself into a bunch of bankruptcies. How the fuck can you run a country when you can't run a business? If you can't run a casino, how the fuck you running a country? But you guys want to have a white male in position of everything. How about we find one that's classified for the goddamn job? I mean, when you want to go and work at a bank, you got to learn how to count, bitch. You ain't walking up in there. What's 1 + 1? That's what y'all do. You got somebody running you're an accountant. You're a CPA. Say, could you do my taxes? Soon as I learn how to read and write my numbers, I'm just on my twos, I'm going to do your taxes. You want this idiot that don't know what the 1 and 2 and don't know nothing about accounting to fill out your fucking taxes. You want an idiot that don't know how to run a casino. The house always fucking wins. How do you take a house that always fucking wins and bankrupt it? Do you understand the dipshittery you must have in your spirit to literally think that your dumb ass can run something? And to get a bunch of human beings that in every job you have gotten, you have had to have some kind of experience to get that bitch. And you want to put a man in office that has had no experience. I don't know what's in y'all spirit. White man, please explain it to me. What is in your spirit to think that you can do a job you ain't fucking educated to do? I don't know too many black people in my life that would take a job. If you offer me a job, say, we're going to pay you $4 million, we're going to have you building these rockets. Y'all dumbasses will go and try and build a rocket. Oh, okay, $4 million, okay, build a rocket that people going to get on and fly up and die because your ass don't know shit about building rockets. What is it about you that decides, I'm going to try some shit and make a lot of money? So what if people die? I'm going to get that first year $4 million and I'm bouncing. I don't care what they say. What is it about you that does that shit? What is it? I know it's greed, but it's stupidity is one. Give me some other ones. What is the reason why you really want to do something like that? And not just say, you know what, sir, not qualified for that. But you know what? I would try something else, though. I can't. The $4 million, give it to somebody who knows what they're doing, because that's somebody's life that's in my hands. And I'm not qualified for it. No, you would never find you guys saying you're not qualified for some shit, because you're willing to take anybody's money and go off your merit. Your merit is whiteness. You think that makes you capabilities of being strong. And if I can't do it, I'll just hire some smart people. Is it all of you? I don't know. But I'm guaranteeing you, all of you know somebody. Hell, I know somebody, and I ain't even white. I know a few of them. Friends of mine, know a few of them. Don't know what the fuck they doing to this day, making $100,000 a year. You got to tell them every other week, now push that button. They remain stupid. Why? Because you giving them the money as a dumbass. What gives them the motivation to be better? What gives them the motivation to be a better human being if you're already paying them to be a shitty human being? It's just insane. So we're going to watch, if hopefully this pops up, a video of their responses. I think I got this one right, but their responses to this. If I get this one right, I think it's going to be about the one about the Trump and everybody else kind of talking about this particular issue. Let me see if I can set it up before. Let's get it.
Nobody was texting war plans.
You put lives at risk, and you can get people killed when you do that. Both the president, Hillary Clinton, if there was anyone other than Hillary Clinton, they would be in jail right now. This is a real deal, full-blown national security scandal.
She was less than truthful about it.
Less than truthful. He couldn't say she was lying, but she was less than truthful. Pete Hegseth, I mean, the hypocrisy, the plain out idiocy to be saying what he just said. Anybody else would be in jail. Excuse me, you're not in jail, which you probably should be. Because if you don't know, I'll tell you, you should know, what these 18 people did on that phone was a felony. If you and I had done that, not only would we be fired, we would have been arrested and charged with a felony. And the thing that trips me out, I don't know 100% because I'm not a lawyer, but I do know through friends of mine who was in the military law is a lot different than American law. They can keep your ass in jail if it's a military, like something that has to deal with military information. It's not like you have the same type of situation as you do as you're a civilian. These things you are educated about. They could put your butt in jail for a minute and then decide on when they're going to have this court case with you. As an American citizen, you have a little bit more leeway. You can probably get out. Maybe. But as a citizen, you be in jail doing some shit like that, especially if you got a hold of these private, this not even private, this information that's highly classified. They want to tamp it down because it's already out and say, they're highly classified. It's highly classified, ladies and gentlemen. You don't get to know the actual weapon and what time, and there's a target that's in the group that you're trying to hit, Houthis. You don't told them all. The Houthis know where they at. If somebody got this information and got it to another country and said, hey, they're coming after the Houthis, it's going to be at this time, it's going to be this type of bomb, so you know what kind of plane to look for that carries that type of bomb. Oh, they're going to be coming? Oh, what? Put your systems up, blow it out the sky. They're lucky that it didn't happen. It wasn't because of their abilities or their skills. It was because the wonderful, talented, expert military people, they did their part. These are the idiots that are in charge of them. The idiots are the ones who fucked it up. The military pulled it off. So when you hear Trump say some shit like, it was a successful mission, blah, blah, yeah, it was. That's because the military did their fucking job. Kudos to the military. It was your dumb fuck motherfuckers that you put in there. It was your dumb fuck people. That was it. They messed up. Don't try to say it was successful, that's a part of your group of executives that did that. They put their lives at threat. But these men and women in the military, they did their job. Thank you for your service. But Hegseth and the rest of those 18, no. They compromised all of their lives. And luckily, nobody was on that knew those people over there to warn them. This would have them in jail, shackles. And they're out here trying to gaslight. Even Trump said some crazy shit like, what does Pete Hegseth got to do with it? You see now, fuck. What do you think he had to do with it? His name's in it. Excuse me. A little hype. Let's go.
repeatedly. And it goes to the issue of both competence and credibility. It is irresponsible for an elected official in her capacity to be discussing highly sensitive things on a format that she had to have known was not fully secured.
I think it's why many of us felt...
Had to have known. She had to have known. Didn't you have to have known that signal was not qualified by the government to be used for situations like this? You had to have known. So that means that Marco Rubio, you should just sign up to the prison right now. Just walk your ass right in and lock yourself in it. If you live by your own standards. But we understand you guys don't have them. They shift. Whatever it means to benefit you, that's the way it shifts. Lock her up for doing less than you. Let you free for doing worse than her. And where's that got to do with anything other than Republican, Democrat, MAGA, liberal? What about just laws? Well, fuck, if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, you break the law, you shall pay. That's all it should be. Shouldn't be none of this liberal, MAGA. No, law broken, jail, court case. Innocent, guilty. Spend time, go free. Simple. That goes for all of us. And anybody who gets into their tribal ideologies, you're an asshole. Because there's no reason why this should be liberal or Democrat or anything. This is just law. This is America. This is all about saving us so that our children, whether they be independent, don't believe in that, Democrat, Muslim, Christian, doesn't matter. We're Americans, and our children and family members and loved ones are going out there putting their lives on the line for us. The least they can ask of us is to do our fucking job and shut the fuck up on apps out here risking people's lives and coming out here and making it seem like it ain't nothing because our experts did their fucking job. Not because of you. You put their lives at stake. And if you don't get checked for it, you're going to do it again. Hell is up with these people, man. Start the show, right, Jay? Was it Parmenter? All right, let's keep going, my bad.
That there should have been a prosecution started with respect to Hillary Clinton regarding classified emails.
When you have the Clinton emails, when you have the fact that the sitting national security advisor right now, Jake Sullivan, was sending and laundering classified documents into an unclassified server, on top of the fact that the sitting president of the United States admitted he had documents in his garage that you're going in and out of.
Yeah, really? Really? So, and at the end of that, you would have saw that Hillary Clinton kind of like laughed at that. She's like, I can't believe that. I can't believe these people did that. It's insane. It's insane. They put a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing. Even the very first, level of a military man or woman. I asked this of other people because I'm not one. I've asked it of my friends. I've asked it of my family members. In the military, even the first who comes in there, what is it, a private or whatever, they automatically know this is wrong. So you're going to tell me a man who supposedly spent many years in the military, that fought in the war, being Pete Hegseth, in the Iraq war and so forth, Afghanistan or whatever, served tours. Again, thank you for your service, but you're still too much of an idiot to be running the damn country in the military. But I digress. But you know these things, and you still did them. Yet you want to lead on something that a private knew was wrong. Could it be the alcohol in you that's got you all? Could it be the alcohol that's got you this way? Because there's no way in hell anybody with common sense would have did what you did. And you're supposed to be a leader. How does military people, when you say, you know what, we're about to send you on another mission. The fuck if you ain't? Oh, I got a stomach ache. I would not want to go on any mission that your ass orchestrated. I don't trust you for shit. I don't see how they do. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'm sorry. I would not trust this man with my life if I was in the military. You'd have to really, I'm like, yo, you want to go on a mission or go to jail? Who's leading it? Pete Hegseth. Jail. I'll be right back. Just give me like a good month in there, I'll be straight. And I'm not risking my life for that fool. I am not doing it. It makes no sense to do that. Why risk your life for somebody who won't even do the homework to understand that there are levels to this, but the level of his position, the seriousness of his position, and he, on his first mission that we know of, bumbled that. Bumbled it. It's craziness, y'all. Crazy. I don't understand it. And then we got Joaquin. He actually spoke, I think it was on an MSNBC show or something like that. We're going to see his video next about what he said and what his response was to that.
There is no way, having sat on this committee for 9 years, that somebody would come in with that information and give us something that says unclassified. You can walk out of this room with this information and give it to whomever you want. You know, with all respect, you and I worked on the committee at the same time. Tulsi, you and I came in together. I've never had an issue of beef with you. John, you and I are both from Texas. Y'all know that's a lie.
It's a lie to the American people is what he says. It's a lie. For them to come out and gaslight Americans. This is what, like I said, forget Democrat, forget Republican for now. Let's just talk American. Do you as an American believe that if information about your loved one going on a mission to unalive people and you want your wife, husband, daughter, son to come back safe, do you really believe having that information out into the ecosphere prior to that actual strike is going to benefit your family? Get rid of it, party. I don't want to hear about parties. I don't care about that. Is it fair to have your kids out there, your husband out there, your wife out there, your loved one out there in the midst of a battle that they think they're sneak attacking and that they're actually safe, but in actuality, they were not as safe as they thought they were. Just because they pulled it off don't mean that they couldn't have had an ambush by the hands of an American person, their leader. Had any one of those men or women in those planes or whatever they were in, I don't know if it was planes or human drones. They got them here. They were planes. They literally say what they are, F-18s. And they also had drones too. If that had happened, I mean, first of all, at that point, if any of our military people had died and this was because of it, they'd be more than in the jail. They'd be under the jail and could be charged with death based on our American laws if they follow the law. But they don't follow the law. The party of law and order don't even follow the law. It's crazy. That's what Joaquin had to say about it. All right, now we're gonna go with the excuses. I think this is it may not. I don't know if it's gonna be the same one or not. I'm not sure because I thought it was a different one, but this one had a different name. But we're gonna put it up anyway. Let's see if we can play it. Oh, it didn't show. Never mind. I don't know why it's that way, but we'll just go with the Atlantic then. We'll go with the Atlantic, sorry. The Atlantic is up. Let's do that. But the other video, if I ever get it back up, that video is about the excuses in which Trump and all the rest of them made for what went down. And I'll try and see if I can get that up here in a minute. But we're going to go with the Atlantic. This is the Atlantic article. Whereas Pete Hegseth said he did not send out plans. I'd be damned if he didn't. This right here says, as we wrote on Monday, because they were calling this dude Jeffrey Goldberg, basically every name in the book. Much of the conversations for the Houthis, that small group, concerned the timing and rationale of attacks on the Houthis and contained remarks by Trump administration officials about the alleged shortcomings of America's European allies. Not only did these people expose what they were going to do, they talk shit about the American, our European allies. The allies see this now. They know what some of these people believe about them. Our allies now kind of know some of they think of them as shortcomings, some kind of shortcomings that they have. That our allies now know that we have a certain thought process about them that they should not know. But this isn't classified. You would have called them up and told them about their shortcomings. Huh? Please tell me you would have told them about their shortcomings there, Marco Rubio. If that's the case, why is it in the news? Why don't you just tell them, hey, European allies, this is what we think about y'all. Thank you, Monica. I appreciate you for the gift. And earlier we had someone else. I'll get your name here in a second. Sorry. Let me give that person love too. Crimson Spice 72. Thank you. I appreciate you. So, but on the day of the attack, and see, he was on this phone call, and somehow they included him in again, I guess, because he said he got off once he found out it was real. But they had been talking about this for a minute. So, anyway, we'll go through it. So he said on Saturday, March 15th, the discussion veered toward the operational. So prior, they weren't talking about operational. But he stayed on these lines. So they hooked up more than once and kept this man in the chain. Never knowing, I don't know for how long, that JG was not a part of the crew. Could you imagine? I mean, come on. Just the idea of that is just insane. I don't know about y'all, but we've all, and this is highly classified stuff, but we've all put somebody, or not even put somebody on a chain, but we've all like sent a text to the wrong person, right? To some degree. You know, I sent something that I was supposed to be sending to my girlfriend. I sent it to my daughter, you know, or any of my friends, whatever. Like, oh, my bad, I meant this. But I ain't saying nothing that's going to put me in jail. These stuff right here, they're like literally talking about weapons and unaliving people. It's insane. But at 11:44 Eastern time, Hexef posted in the chat in all caps, team update. He tried to literally say, see, I put team update in there. So I give updates and things like that. It's not classified. Are we a part of the team, dipshit? Am I a part of your team? I have the same classifications that you do. So I should be able to see what you and your team are talking about. That right there is a thing. That as long as you say team update, you can tell the whole world what you're telling your team. Excuse me, but you're the military, the head of the military. When you talk about team, you're talking about classified shit. It ain't like you're talking about me and your friends and shit. We ain't going out for a beer together, bro. You talking about actual weapons you're deploying and people who are manning those things. And the exact time in which you're talking about doing it. It says the text beneath this began, time now. Weather is favorable. Just confirmed with CENTCOM, we are a go for a mission launch. CENTCOM, or Central Command, is the military's combatant command for the Middle East. The Hexef text continues. 12:15 Eastern Time, F-18's launch. First strike package. 13:45, which is 1:45. Trigger based. F-18. Use a trigger base. First strike window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location, as should be on time. Also, strike drones launch MQ-9s. It says, let us pause here for a moment to underscore a point. The signal message shows that the U.S. Secretary of Defense texted a group that included a phone number unknown to him, Goldman's phone number, at 11:44. This was 31 minutes before the first U.S. warplanes launched and 2 hours and 1 minute before the beginning of a period in which a primary target, the Houthi target terrorist, was expected to be killed by these American aircraft. If this text had been received by someone hostile to American terrorists or someone merely indiscreet and with access to social media, the Houthis would have time to prepare for what was meant to be a surprise attack on their strongholds. The consequences for American pilots could have been catastrophic. They go on to talk about when the drones and more F-18 launches for the strike package, other bombs that they were going to release. And F-18, another strike, right? Tomahawks launched. More to follow. We're currently clean on OPSEC. This is operational security. Godspeed to our warriors. Shortly after, Vice President J.D. Vance texted the group, I would say a prayer for victory. How about saying a prayer for competency? The fuck is wrong with these people? You sent this kind of information. And you out here gaslighting people because your people don't read. They tell you not to go look at the Atlantic and your dumb ass don't go look. Your husbands, your wives, your daughters, their lives are at stake because you guys are in the military. Your kids are in the military. And you're going to tell me you're not going to go look at what can help and protect your children just because some little orange cretin told you not to. That's some of the most idiotic shit I've ever heard in my lifetime. To literally put your kids, your loved ones in harm's way because you got hate for other people. You got hate for other people. Why? Why do you have so much hate for them that you don't love your child enough to protect them? We're not asking you to put Democrats in office, you know what I'm saying, as far as the heads of these positions. Go ahead and put MAGA people or Republicans or whatever, but let them know what the fuck they're doing. You're not safe because you're sitting here loving on these people who have no classification for what they do. You can't really say you love meritocracy and people who have merit when you put in these people. Remember, was it one of the Republicans, MAGA, said, and they'll say all kinds of stuff, but I know, off of Fox and other people that have said, if I get on a plane and there's a black pilot, I got worries that person got in because they didn't have the merit. Now, why aren't you saying the same thing of you don't want somebody to fly your plane that has never flown a fucking plane? White, black, or indifferent. This man has never led anything in war. Yet you got him leading shit in war. Being on the ground and fighting is a shit ton different than orchestrating the fight. It's insane. You would put somebody who don't know what they're doing, not just in a position to be in the room. Put it this way. Pete Hegseth should not be in the room with the people who are making these decisions because he's that unqualified. Maybe he gets some on-the-job training first. Why don't you shadow somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing? Give them a couple years to shadow, then give them a shot at it. But no, you gave him a shot to run the whole damn thing with no experience to do it. And then holler that you want some kind of meritocracy. Meritocracy, my ass. You guys don't believe in meritocracy. If you did, you wouldn't be putting somebody that can have your kids unalive because he's too stupid to know what's classified and what's not. They know this is classified. Highly. Top secret even. Nobody should have known about this. Not a soul but the people in that room. And they took that and put it on an app. Why? Because they're too stupid to realize that Signal is not secure. Their idea of security is civilian security. They know nothing about military security. Civilian security. For me and you, sending that information back and forth on Signal, because it's point to point, me send it to you, nobody else can see it. The app only, again, if you've been here long enough, The app only, and they've been talking about it today. I told y'all about it yesterday. It's been on the news throughout the day. Exactly what I said. It wasn't on there yesterday. Been in all day today. That it is not secure once it reaches your phone. And what do they tap? They don't tap your signal. They tap your phone. And if you open it up and decrypt it, it's decrypted for them to see. Just like they can take your pictures off your phone. Remember how the celebrities were all at one point in time, celebrities were having their nude phone pictures and shit just popping up all over the place. TMZ, all these other places. You'd be like, I didn't give that picture out. It was on your phone. That's because somebody got next to you, hacked your shit, took it, and then went and sold it somewhere. And they were popping up all over the place. That's how simple it is for an idiot hacker that walks near you at Starbucks. Now ask yourself, a person who's a professional hacker, how easy it was to be able to see whatever the hell was on your phone. Because once they tap your phone, they got your information. Once you open it up and read it, just like if you can see it, I can see it. But these people that they got leading didn't know that. Do you deserve your job if you don't know the basics about security? A 14-year-old hacker knows that. Here you are, got 40-something, 50-something year old men, grown men and women. The head of our country as far as security and military. And the only thing they're good at is kissing Donald Trump's left testicle. As far as being in the positions that they're in, they suck. They just proved it to you. Who would do this? Neither one of us in this room would have done that. Neither one of us in this room would have done that. We have more common sense than to do something like that. Yet they did it, not once, but multiple times, and never questioned who JG was in the room. Private information, never asked a question. They need to be investigating them. Pete Hegseth should be gone. What's his name? Mike Waltz? Michael Waltz, whatever it is. They call him Mike, I think. He should be gone. The rest of them should be investigated. And I would say eventually gone. And charges should be made on all of them. Point blank, period. It's just simple. It's not hard. But they'll make it hard because they don't want you to punish them for what they did. So they're going to lie to you and tell you that things are different than what they actually are. You can't keep lying to the American people and expect us to just keep eating this. You just can't. And for some reason, they keep on doing that. Keep on thinking that, oh yeah, you're just going to be okay with it. I'm like, no, I'm not. I ain't going to be okay with that. Not at all, I'm not. Never going to be okay with somebody lying to me and putting my life at stake. Never. And that's what they want you to do. Every time. They want us to do that. And that's why I say, no, never again. See what else. I'm going to see if I can get this video up for us. I really want to get it, but I don't know for sure if it'll show. For some reason, it's not showing up.
Nobody
That's the wrong
was
one.
texting war plans.
You put lives at risk, and you can get people killed when you do that. Both the president, Hillary Clinton.
Back. That's the wrong one. It won't come up. I'm going to get it up eventually, but it's really Trump because I want to get Trump in there. Where is it at? Bear with me just a second so we can get it. For some reason, it didn't load up before. It should have Trump's like actual face on it, but for some reason it's not. Oh, no wonder. It's corrupt. It's all right. But anyway, we'll go with what we got. Yeah, Marco Rubio is a high disappointment. I mean, I'm like, dude, you were so like against Putin. You were so the opposite way. I don't understand. Now, here's the thing. I've been trying my best to understand these people. I'm sitting there like, okay, I understand that you're in a position where you really can't speak on things because a lot of things are private. A lot of things are classified. and you can't say nothing. You can look at Marco Rubio in certain situations and he looks like somebody stole his lunch or he's about to throw up, because he knows he has stepped into sold my soul territory, but he don't know exactly what to do with that sold my soul territory. He's trying to figure out, maybe if I did this or do that, and he doesn't know what to do. It's like, how much do you want to sell yourself? Or do you eventually want to say, you know what? I can't do this. I can't sell my soul so much that this actually happens too often. I can't do that. At some point, I've got to say to myself, look, this is no longer going to happen. And I am going to just say, look, I quit. I'm not going to continue lying to the people just so that I can appease this orange cretin. You ain't got to say that, but appease Donald Trump. There's a certain point in my life where I have got to, look at my children. I've got to look at my wife. I've got to, talk to the people of America and really care about them. I understand I got to do some things that's going to keep them safe that I can't actually say out loud. I get it. I get that. I get it completely. But the whole process is, there are some things you can tell the truth about. And if you choose to lie even about the things you can tell the truth about, what kind of person are you? That you've learned to lie so much that the things that you can tell us the truth about, you choose to lie. And it's easy to say things like, that's classified. I can't talk about that. Would love to, but just keep in mind that we have the American citizen's best interest at heart. We're helping the American citizen, and that's all I can say about that. Next question. Why gaslight and lie and lie and lie? And then we find out you're lying, and then you just sit there and just try to gaslight people. You didn't hear what you just said. You didn't hear me say that. I did hear you say that. Because I want to get this video if I can, because I really want to talk about. Let me see if I can just play it on my computer here. Give me a second. Bear with me. Because I know this is supposed to be here, but for some reason it is not. That's it right there.
There was no harm done because the attack was...
Okay, we're going to get that coming up. They got the audio. We're going to get it coming up here real quick. Let me see if I can get it. I got it in the wrong place. Oh, that was it. The hell? That's where it's supposed to be, but let's see if we can get that back together. That's it. Signal response and deep.
Upplays it. I think it's all a witch hunt. That's all. There was no harm done because the attack was unbelievably successful that night. Hegseth is doing a great job. He had nothing to do with this.
The conversation was candid and sensitive. But as the President National Security Advisor stated, no classified information was shared.
None of the information on there at any point threatened the operation or the lives of our servicemen. And in fact, it was a very successful operation.
Nobody's texting war plans. My job, as it said atop of that, everybody's seen it now, team update, is to provide updates in real time. General updates in real time, keep everybody informed. That's what I did.
Do you trust the Secretary of Defense, who was nominated for this role, voted by the United States Senate into this role, who has served in combat, honorably served our nation in uniform? Or do you trust Jeffrey Goldberg, who is a registered Democrat and an anti-Trump sensationalist reporter?
Lord, have mercy. Trump, crazy as I don't know what, but the last lady, press secretary. She said, do you trust Donald Trump or do you trust Jeffrey Goldberg, who she disrespected? This guy is a well-respected journalist, editor-in-chief. You don't get to editor-in-chief being not having the merit to do so, right? So he's the editor-in-chief of the Atlantic. How about I tell her, how do I not trust both of you? I just say, I don't care about what Trump says. I don't care what Jeffrey Goldberg says. I'll go with the actual evidence for 500, Stu. The fuck are they talking about? I mean, what person, American, leave the MAGA out of it, leave the Republican, Democrat rather, and liberal and all, leave it out. You have a document, and if you match it up, it is the exact same thing that happened over there that they wrote 30 minutes before they even started it. You don't have to believe that writer. You don't have to believe Trump. Believe your own eyes. Believe the actual, the federal government that literally said, this is accurate. After the federal government said, this is an accurate accounting of what happened, it's a wrap. I don't give a fuck what Trump say. I don't care what the writer says. I got the facts. It's not his word against his word. It's the facts against the lies. This right here is all factual. 100%. What happened is what happened. They verified it. They know it's factual. For you to climb into your individual groups and start talking about Democrat, liberal, own this and own that, that's just stupidity. Deal with the actual facts. You just heard me read to you, and you read it yourself, when they were going to put bombs in the air and unalive people. That the actual target was in its location, and it told you that what they were going to do, they did. You got the federal government, military say that these things are accurate. They verified it based off of what actually happened. And now they're trying to do an investigation. Like, how did it happen? Hello? The person got an invite from whom? Right? Who did they get? It was Mike Waltz, right? Michael Waltz invited him, put him into the room. First off, why is Mike, who's not the leader of this conversation that doesn't appear, putting people in the room? I mean, it's not your meeting. It's Pete Hegseth's meeting. In which Pete Hegseth would have looked at and said, I invited all 18. Who the fuck are you? I said 17 people I was going to hit up. I see 18 people in the room. Roll call. None of that. None of that happened. Y'all, they acted like they had no clue what was going on. And you shouldn't be in position receiving a paycheck from us, none whatsoever, if you don't have a clue of what the hell you're doing. I had a conversation on my TikTok earlier today, and a guy came on. I later found out, if you were here in my TikTok earlier, I later found out that this clown was literally trying to sell products while I was talking to him. He was like, you see this little box over here? And I'm like, I don't see it, dude. It's small. I don't know what it is. He's like, okay. Then he continued to talk all this nonsense. And it just comes down to the fact that, you know, he was just saying this stuff just so that he can sell his products. But he was bringing up all the nonsense, you know, about like, what do we think we should do, how we should do it. As far as like politicians, like, let's stop complaining. Let's stop complaining. I'm like, dude, it ain't about whether complain or not complain. It's literally about solutions. What solutions do we have? How are we getting solutions? If you don't deal with the problem, you can't get to a solution, can you? I've never heard of anybody solving a problem but never finding out what the problem is. How can you solve something when you don't know what it is or what's the root cause of it? So we started going down the root causes, at least I did, of all the things that happen. Like, what's the root cause of people talking about solving immigration? This individual seemed to believe that we have solved a lot of immigration because Trump came in and did what he did. And I'm like, what the hell did he do for immigration? Are you talking about breaking the laws by this Alien Enemies Act of 1798 and getting rid of 14-year-old and up to an adult men who were Venezuelan without due process? So you're trying to tell me the Constitution is something that you want to get rid of? Is that what you're telling me you want to do? Get rid of the Constitution so you can tell me that's how that's effective toward. So the laws in which we have for immigration, you want to break the laws in which we have for the Constitution, a due process. So the Constitution be damned as long as you can get the people you hate out of the country. And you don't really have a reason to hate them. They haven't done anything to you. You got Donald Trump billing, oh, this one lady died, the girl died due to some Latin people or Venezuelan or whatever immigrant. Never mind the fact that most people who kill in this country are white men. Let's kick them out the country. By the millions, they do more than Venezuelans. Let's just load them up, put them on a train, on a plane. Let's enact the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 and put racist white men on these planes and send their ass over to another country. That'll solve the problem of America. Just go and collect a bunch of racist ass white men and put them on there, treat them that same way, and kick them the fuck out this country. We'd have a better country. How you like that? Sounds good to me. I mean, because you're the ones who cause the most problems. If we really want to get the most problems out of this country, get racist white men out. And then women can have their rights to their bodies again, right? People of color don't have to worry about racism anymore. White, black, Latin, Asian, we can all fucking get along. We can all get opportunities because we actually have the merit, and whiteness is not the standard in which to find a job or being able to get a loan. The standard would be, can you do the fucking job? How about that? I think that solves the problem. Get rid of racist white men, kick them out of the country, and we straight. They're causing the most problems, right? By the millions, right? Okay. Sounds about right. So let's do that. Sounds like it solves the problem to me. But you'll never see them do that. You'll never see them even propose that. Because it's not about making the country right. It's about making the country white. And until you see that, you can't fix it. Like I said, what is the root problem America has? It's not immigration. It's racism. It's all the isms, sexism, xenophobic, all that. Those are the problems we have in this country that cause the most havoc and the most deaths. Deal with the truth and we can fix it. Just like this gentleman was talking about, oh, you know, all these different issues and getting immigration. No, we haven't solved the problem of immigration. See, again, they don't want to tell you, why are these people coming over to this country? Because there's so many problems going on in their country with the drug cartels and all these things of that nature that they're running here because they're getting unalived and being killed and being put in these little trenches and shit like that. They're killing our whole families and areas, right? Why are they doing that? If we don't get to the root cause of that, we can't fix it, can we? So are they really trying to end immigration the way they're talking about ended or even bring it down? No, because if they were, they know what the problems are. They're not solving it. They just give you a bunch of red meat. They feed your hate. Keep telling you, all these immigrants come and get your jobs. When's the last time you had an immigrant job? I myself have never had one. I ain't picking nobody's nothing. And most of y'all won't do it either. So you ain't had an immigrant job. Now your parents may have. My mom had that job. Wasn't an immigrant. She had that enslavement job. My mom picked cotton. She wasn't a slave, but they were still her grandparents that she was still living with. They weren't slaves, but their parents were. So they were still sharecroppers at the time, which is basically the same thing with certain types of freedoms in the South. Not much, but still. If you can do that, Donald Trump, they're always like, oh, we got shithole countries here. We got shithole. No, the shithole is the racist white men in this country. I said it, and I'll tell you to your face. You are the problem with America. It's not immigrants. It's not black people. It's not Asian people. It's not even most white women. It is you racist fucks that has fucked this country up, and it's about time y'all leave. Y'all gonna leave? Nah. So you ain't talking about solving no problems. You talking about pushing the problems on somebody else. Immigrants ain't did shit to you. You are more worried and should be more worried about your white neighbor than you would your Latin one or your black one. Because there's the ones who will take your life and get away with it. All the rest of them will go to jail for like 30, 40 years. That white woman, that white guy, they won't even go to jail. All they got to say is you stepped on their property and you're gone for good. Family don't give a damn. You only get justice when it's a person of color that does something to your family. And you only want it when they do it. Because even though they're criminals, you see some kind of likeness because they're white. Even though they're criminals. So when we look at this problem that we want to solve in America, we need to look at the root of the reason why we're doing it. When you look over in like I say, in Mexico, what would be the problem of why they come in here? You got to ask these questions. All these years, they don't ask the questions. They know the answers. It's more than likely the cartels over there that are unaliving people. So how do you solve that problem? I'll give you one. You either wage war on that section of Mexico and say, Mexico, yeah, these drugs keep coming in and you ain't doing enough. Oh, we're going to declare war on that particular area. And yeah, beware. With a pact. You want them out? We want them out. We about to blast their ass. It's a wrap. Because them coming over here all the damn time. Ain't going to keep happening. Trying to scare people over here. We want good people to come here. But we don't want them all scared to death. Like, what the hell's going on? They are neighbors. And if you're a neighbor, that means that crime's just a couple feet away from us. So it's about time we annihilate them. Let's just go over there. Kaboom. Done deal. Come back. Y'all go back over there and do some good things. Then invest in the area like we did Japan. Invest in the area. Give them some money. Build it. Give them jobs. Living wage jobs. Their country is back to normal. But ask yourself, why does this not happen? Good evening, Jennifer. How you doing? Why does this not happen? Because America is in cahoots with that damn gang over there. There is no way they bring tons of shit into this country that there aren't a bunch of billionaire white people that ain't helping them get it over here. You think an average person like myself or a little millionaire is literally able to bring in tons of cocaine or whatever that stuff is, whatever drug it may be? You think they're going to be able to do that? I mean, you might get one abnormal case, but for the majority, nah. It's big corporations, some rich ass white people sitting around letting this shit happen. They got the government in their back pocket and it's all coming over. They got, I guarantee you, they have a situation where, look, you're going to have to let us catch you sometime. Okay. What's going to be your smallest shipment? Oh, we're going to bring in about 7 tons. 7 tons? That's going to be your smallest shipment? Yeah, okay. All right. Well, let us get that 1.7 and let everybody know that we got it. Don't worry. Once you get to the police station, it's just going to magically disappear. We destroyed it. Yeah, you did. That's why you got police gangs in this country. I digress. But the reality is, there's too much money in it for rich, greedy ass people in America to let that shit just go. So all that they take, I'm sure they turn it into cash somehow. I know it ain't just sitting around. So the reason why this stuff doesn't end is because they really don't want it to end. It's easy to end. They got us all suckered, believing that they're doing something. These things are authorized to come into our country. They're catching the things that have been chosen to pick. And any small time people, yeah, they're getting arrested for stuff because they haven't put money into the coffers of American politicians and billionaires. They're just bringing it over because it's like, hey, they bringing over a shipment. Let me bring over one. You ain't paid your dues. We're going to catch your little ass. We're going to take you. But over here, the one that truckloads just passed with chickens filled with coke. Yeah, that one they can go through. You know they know this shit, man. By this time in America, you have to know that technology has to have grown by leaps and bounds. Having a dog having to sniff something is something that's probably archaic as fuck. Right now, you could probably take technology to find any kind of drug. But the thing is, they don't want it to happen. If they did, it'd be caught. So my thing is this. If you really want to solve the problems, get to solving them. Don't tell us that, oh, our immigration is broken. No. Why is it broken? Because see, you got average people like me and you that they tell all this crap to, and y'all get into y'all feelings no matter which side you're on, and you don't think logically. So you start thinking, oh, they're doing everything they can. Oh, they're not doing enough. And you're like, yo, hello. I'm in the middle saying, where's the problem? What's the problem? Oh, I don't know. They're just coming over here, and they don't need to be over here. It's like, what is the problem? The rich people really want them over here so they can get slave labor. Then you got the rich people, that's one, but you got Republicans in the same way. They want over here for the labor. Democrat rich people want them here for the labor. People who are more liberal want them here because they want them to get safety. Ask any of them, what is the problem and how do we solve it? If you don't want them coming as much, eliminate the reason why they feel they need to be here. Because many of them, if you know immigrants in your life, many of them love their own country. Either they can't make enough money living there, they don't have the opportunity living there, or they're scared of whatever's trying to unalive them. Fix what's trying to unalive them. Invest in the area in which to give them jobs, just like in America, and do the same thing. Things over there cost less to make, so you can start your business over there. Open up a bridge for Americans to start small businesses over there, as well as over here. Tax cuts or whatever you got to do for small businesses to go over there and create, and you can help their economy grow. Get rid of the cartel through a war on crime for real, not just shit where you're trying to weed people out of this country, but an actual war on drugs. Go over there and say, you guys only got so much time. It's going to be a wrap. We know where you at. We know where you make these things. We know where you're building them. It's illegal for us. It's illegal for you. In your country, it's illegal. In my country, it's illegal. So keep bringing it, and we're going to bring some drones, and we're going to eliminate all this. We're just going to blow up the area. We ain't trying to kill you, but we're going to blow up all your little drug fields. Simple as that. If you really wanted to end it. So that's not what they want to do. They don't want to end it. They gaslight y'all and tell y'all what they're going to do. Oh, well, we got to create the laws that are better and more judges and more this and more that. I agree these things need to be done. But are you solving the problem or putting a Band-Aid on it? It's a Band-Aid. It ain't no really strong Band-Aid either. One of the waterproof things that fall off. But that's how it goes down. Now, that's one thing that we can do to solve it. But are we trying to solve it? We're not. So if you're not serious about it, then why is the American citizen getting upset or pissed off? They're not serious about it. It's never been about them taking your jobs, because none of you guys would work the jobs in which they get when they come here. So quit lying to yourself. You just hate them. And you got your own specific reasons why, but you hate them. And because you hate them, that's why you have no problem with the shit that's happening to them. But just know who you hate and what somebody else hates. It's just a matter of time before the people who hate you get into power. And they're going to treat you the same way that you're treating the people that you hate. Don't get it twisted. It's just not your turn yet, but it will come back to you. So how about we just go on the love side of things? Give a damn about people. Let people live and let live. Keep your business, keep your nose out of everybody else's business. Whomever sleeps with whom is none of your damn business unless you plan on sleeping with them. If they gay, bi, straight, whatever, if that's against your God, then take it up with God and Jesus when you meet them, because it's not your job to determine what the fuck they gonna do on earth. As long as they ain't breaking no laws and attacking young children and other things of that nature, it's none of your damn business. I don't understand why people feel the need to literally go into somebody's bedroom and tell them what life they should lead. But at the same time, you can't tell this dumbass to put on a mask. It's against my rights. Oh, it's against your rights for a mask, but not against my rights that you want to come into somebody's bedroom and tell them how they're supposed to do things. You want to get into a woman's womb and tell her how to actually take care of it. just because you think that you should own her or something. All these things. Leave people alone. Handle your business. We got laws, standards. I get it. But those standards have nothing to do, like I was telling this other person, the other guy who was on it earlier in my TikTok, he was talking about trans, that Donald Trump got the trans people out of sports, and he said he was a liberal. I'm like, in my head, I know he wasn't liberal because he was selling shit. He had on a red hat, all this other stuff. So I knew he wasn't liberal, but I listened to it. I gave him a chance. The dude literally said something about, you know, the trans people, women out of sports. And I said, okay, give me understanding about why you have a problem with trans people. There are literally, he said he was a coach too. I said, there are literally like 10 people in the United States who are trans in sports with women. Trans women in there in sports. Literally like 10. And you guys are trying to go for the evil route, the extraction. You don't deserve to be there. I'm like, okay, look here. I sat around waiting to see if any of them could come up with a solution that would be justifiable and be like, you know, good to the people, right? All people. I look at it, how can you love on somebody without having to go to hate or disgust or whatever, right? So what's wrong with trans women being in a sport with women? Hear me out. All you have to do, and this is what I told this person, I said, all you really have to do is realize, okay, if you put somebody that used to be a man, but now is a woman, trans, whatever, taking the hormones and all these different things of that nature and look like a woman, but still was born a man, and you put them in a sport, let's just say running, whatever the heck it is, track and field, right? So when you find out that if they ran the 40, right, and you find out that this trans person is literally 10% faster than all the women, or even 10% faster than the slowest woman on the teams, right? 10% faster than the slowest woman. Whichever way you want to do it. Then you know, okay, that trans person cannot start at the same line as a woman who was born a woman. Put them 10% back. If 10% of whatever miles it is, is you got to put them back. If they're doing 10 miles and 10% of that is 1 mile, they got to start once everybody started a mile. That makes them even. The moment he takes off running, or she takes off running as a trans person, she is that much faster than the rest of the women. She should be able to make that mile up. And if she can make that mile up and win, she deserved that damn trophy. How about that? So it's easy for you to go to hate than it is for you to find a solution. It's not that hard. Right, David? They focus on sports. Look me up if you change your mind. I love Blue Sky, no trolls, just love. But I understand that we don't need to go in this conversation, but it's something that they made a big issue, that literally there's 10 people in this country that do this. And they're making it seem like it's just like the biggest thing. Less than 10 people from what I hear. But they made it such a big deal. Where's Elf? She's gone. Good night. Time to eat. Thanks. Take care, Shelf. Or She Elf. My bad. She Elf Johnson. So when you think about this, you start to understand that you don't have to like whatever somebody's doing. I mean, we have come a long way. People wouldn't accept gay people back in the day, in the 80s and stuff of that nature. Oh, late 70s, early 80s, it did not accept it. Now it is just normal. Trans, people don't like it. It will become norm. Just chill. It's not a situation. You don't have to deal with it. And even if your family member is one or whatever, then you deal with it, because your child ain't trying to be this. This is what your child feels they are or knows they are, whatever. It's their life, not yours. You've led yours. And do you want your child to be happy, or do you want your child to just be what you want him to be? If that was the case, you should have went and just built you a child and like build a baby somewhere. Because you are not God. You didn't create what your child was going to become. Point blank, period. Like, for instance, whatever you are, straight, whatever, your parents didn't build who you are. If somebody asked me one time and said, did you ever choose to be straight? I'm like, no, I didn't choose to be shit. I'm just who I am. I didn't choose to be anything other than me. So when did you think a gay person chose to be gay? They always had it in them. They just had a society that didn't accept it. So they pretended to be something they weren't. Trans as a distraction. They are using trans as a distraction. Big time, Jennifer. They are. And I said, again, if you don't like it, I understand. You don't have to be around people like that. You can totally be on your own. But the thing is, why do they have to deal with you? They're American citizens too. I haven't myself seen any gay person, LGBTQIA. I haven't seen any of them walking around and be like, ew, you like women? Ugh, you know, and a man liking a woman. They don't go around and make fun of people who are straight. It's like, that's weird. They don't make fun of, not that I know. I ain't been around a lot in the last, couple years or so. But I'm sure, I haven't heard it, them going around and shaming you for being straight. It's kind of crazy. But you never know. This society has all kind of different things going on in it. As a trans woman, I just wish they would stop making me the conversation. It is another sign of the start of fascism. 100%. 100%, I believe it. They should not put you in the mix. Again, it's not even about that. It's about what can they get to hate. You guys move the needle. That's why. You're a topic that people in this country can't understand. Before you, it was gay. Before gay, it was other things. Before all that, and throughout this entire time, it's been black people. Whether it's been gay, trans, immigrant, it's always been black people throughout the whole thing. It's just the norm. How do you get a population to hate on something or to get on your side? You have to make a divide. And anything different than what society considers to be norm, they can use that as a weapon to get people to do what they want them to do. Even going against their own best interest to get them to do what you want them to do. So it should never be an issue. But again, I try to dispel these issues by saying we need to accept everybody and focus on what we care about. Our families, economics, the economy, how we get that to grow, being fiscally conservative. And I don't care what anybody says, everybody's fiscally conservative. It's not a Republican Party thing. It is an American human thing. If any of you guys, if you live within your means, or at least try your damnedest to, and pay your bills on time, if you had the funds, if you had more money than bills, would you not pay your bills, or would you pay your bills and continue to stack away money? If that is you, you are fiscally conservative, fiscally responsible. That's all that is. But they have taken it and made it seem like it's a trait of theirs. It is not. As far as the party goes, they have never been fiscally conservative in their life. They've always taken more and never really put back into the pot. Remember, they were small government, which literally means we don't need these programs. Keep giving me my money back. I'm like, okay, give you your money back. What you gonna do with it? Store it? Okay. So how does the economy grow? If you're gonna take your money and store it and don't spend it. Supply and demand. Exactly. So we have to be able to do what we're doing. And we have to have programs that help those who don't have access. That's just how it works. All anti-gay, then getting caught. Yeah, with their young party boys. Yeah, I was tripping off of when Donald Trump and they had the Republican National Convention, and when they went, they what was the name of the gay site? Grindr, I believe. They broke it. It wasn't working because all these it was only Republicans there. It wasn't like the Democrat and Republican National Convention in the same spot. It was a Republican National Convention, and they broke Grindr. It was down because these Republican people who were literally like just repressed were out there with their young men and probably women too, as far as like there's gay women in the Republican Party. But the only way they can get power, these people, is to hide that because they're so against these people. It's like, it's sad. It's really sad. It's like, dude, let people be who they are. Enjoy them for who they are. We all want the same type of things, no matter what. And it's not a monolith. There are gay Republicans, there are gay MAGA, there's gay straight, all of that. Let's just focus on what we need. Forget all this party line stuff. What do we need as a people? And like, where is the problem? Let's find a solution. I think that Republicans, Democrats, progressives, liberals, MAGA, ultra conservative, we all can come to some agreement on some things and agree to disagree on others. We all want the economy to work. Well, good. But if you are a Republican and you don't have a problem with billionaires receiving subsidies they don't have to pay back, you should also not have a problem with small businesses and mid-sized businesses receiving same said subsidies that they don't have to pay back instead of loans in which they can lose their business. If you gave them the subsidies and allowed them to grow the country from the bottom up, we wouldn't have these problems economically. Because you got to think about the reason why when you give money, subsidies, these to the tune of trillions of dollars to millionaires and billionaires, their first thing to do is to cut jobs, not create them. They reinvest in their business. They buy stocks back, one of the first things they do. And then they go on a cutting spree and start firing a crap ton of their people and making their employees work twice as hard. They get rid of executives. They get rid of regular employees. They get rid of companies that may have unions in them or whatever, try and bust them, send things overseas. They do everything to keep their money and to grow their money like really quick. That's not growing the economy. The people, once you get this money from not tax return, but these tax cuts and all stuff like that, and you receive money, you're the ones that keep the economy going because you're the ones that's going to spend it. You're going to go out and buy the shoes, the restaurant, the car, this. Oh, I couldn't wait to get my car. I got this money back. I'm going to go put this down payment. We needed this much money to buy a new house. We're going to go ahead and do the down payment. You're ready to put it back into the economy. You're making the economy look like it's booming, not them. The credit goes to you. But because it's just you by yourself, you're like, I couldn't be doing that. No. 300 million of us could, doing the exact same thing that you're doing. We're the ones that keep an economy running. So if you want this economy to get better and better and better, these subsidies, these millions and trillions of dollars they give to these billionaires, you need to start giving it to small and mid-sized businesses because those are the people who need to grow. Those are the people, when given money, hire people. They don't cut anybody. They hire them because they need the work. So they need the employees to pull off these contracts if they got them with the government. Therefore, they're going to hire a lot of people. And as they continue to grow, our economy grows. The people who live in this country grow. The communities that need an industry start to get industries that are being subsidized by the government, creating jobs and millions of dollars for not only the owner, but for its investors and also for the employees, hundreds of thousands. So you get jobs that are more than $15 an hour because an industry just blew up in your particular backyard that hasn't been there for decades. That right there is the way you lift an economy. Not giving it to the billionaires and expecting them to be fiscally conservative, which they've proven time and time again they are not. Why aren't Democrats, liberals, and Republicans ain't gonna do it? People who don't vote, why aren't we asking for that? That's an incentive for you, your son, your daughter. That's an incentive for you guys to start businesses and boom the economy. Just get jobs for people. Your brilliant idea is being funded via subsidies and not just loans. How about that? Because right now, as a person who's either never had a business before, poor or middle class, and you do have a little money, but you don't really have a big business. If you want to start a business and you want to get investments, you can go to the SBA, Small Business Association is with the government. You can get $50,000 check once you go through their program. They can go up, I think, to like $500,000 or something of that nature. But guess what? Those are all loans. Why the hell are those loans when you're giving billions of dollars to rich people as subsidies for free? If they don't pull it off, they don't owe shit. They come back and triple dip and quadruple dip. If you fail, which they know most of the time, depending on your sector, if you're in a restaurant, it's way up there as far as you failing. They know you're more than likely going to fail, but they're going to give you a loan knowing that you're not going to pay it back and they're going to take your property and your money back, your business back. How is that helping the people? Subsidies for them. Loans to the rich. Make them pay it back. Low interest, just like they do to us. But billionaires should not be getting all this money unless it's a loan. And if they do not pull it off, they have to pay it back with interest. They can do it. They already got it in the bank. The middle class, a small size business, small business and mid businesses, they don't have those funds. They got to go to banks and get loans. That's poor people stuff. Meaning you got to go and get all this astronomical interest. You pulling that shit at 10, 12, 25, whatever percentage. Having to make extraordinary payments back that you just took $50,000 out of the government. And they've given millions and billions of dollars each year to these corporations that don't pay it back. Yeah. How about we fight for that? I think Republicans, Democrats, MAGA, liberals, progressives, I think we can all agree on that. Y'all think we can agree on that? I'm looking for you. Be sure to help, Mr. Fast. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate it. Election is important. I would be sure, Rude. Okay. I think we can agree on that. I don't have too many people agreeing on it, but I think that's the way we should go about it. All right. That's what I'm talking about. We should be able to do that. I agree. Now, where do we, and I don't know where we start with this, but I think we need to allow our representatives to know that we'd rather have it that way. The subsidies go to the people who are starting businesses. Now, we're not talking about giving away free. We're talking about if subsidies are free, you don't have to pay it back. But when you come to the government wanting this money, you got to have your plans together. And why not? Again, that's another industry that we can create. If you are a business person, you can teach other people how to do business, giving them jobs, other people jobs to teach other people in our communities all over the world, the United States rather, like how to start a business in a restaurant, how to do these different things, and giving them access to these subsidies in the government. So that can get you prepared to have whatever the government requires, whether it's a business plan, whether it's a MVP, and that's a minimum viable product, meaning like if you're going to build an app, you just build just the wireframe and how it would work, push a button, it takes you here or there, but you don't have to have it so much that the data actually gets to do something that, you know, like invest or whatever. You just have a small minimum viable product. They call it MVP. Get you to that phase. That could cost you maybe a couple $1,000s. Again, that's a business somebody that we can start to help people start their own businesses, booming the economy, helping all these people who are creative minded, who are business minded, but just don't realize it. They don't have the money to go to college, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. They could spend $10,000 to get ready. And then once they're done, connect them to the government to get subsidies for said product. And if they get the subsidies, that helps them grow from 1 employee to 10. From 10 employees to 100. And then you're creating jobs in this country and booming the economy. It's very simple. I'm a little out of it because I was cooking something while I'm listening. Oh, no worries, Rude. I get you. So those are the things that, you know, I want to bring forth to us so that we know what works for the American people. And that's, again, we've come up with a solution for immigration. First, we must find the problem, and then we solve it. And if the problem is the drug cartels that are causing the problems, then we wage a war on them and end it so that the people who are running over here don't have to worry about asylum. because we've already annihilated the problem. Now what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? If you got a problem with the economics, okay, we'll start businesses over there. Living wage for you guys living in that area. I don't care what it is, if it's restaurants or if we need something in this country that we like, rice farming, I don't give a damn what it is. Create those so that you guys can sell us those products at a cheaper rate, but yet you can sell it to China and other people at whatever the hell rate you want. Now we didn't solve the problem. Mexico is no longer an issue with drugs, and they don't have to come run to our country, and we solve the border problem. You turn the problem off. You ever heard this when you was a kid? You've seen it. When you had a hose, there's water in the ground. When we was a kid, we used to water it with a hose, the grass or whatever. You know, you close it up, right? But the water's still coming, the pressure's still building. It's not going to stop. As soon as you open it up, it's going to squirt out again. You got to go to the spigot and turn it off. Well, the problem, our border is holding it up like this. Well, once you let go, it starts to flow again. You got to go to the spigot, the root of the problem. Turn it off, and the hose ain't nothing coming through it. They're not turning off the spigot. They just have a gate that is just holding it down a little bit. They have a system that's holding it down a little bit. And each president that gets in keeps talking about this damn border as if it's a huge problem. If it was a huge problem, trust me, they'd solve it. 9/11, they flew planes into buildings. We went over there for 20 years and attacked the hell out of them, killing all kind of people because we was trying to solve a problem that really wasn't even over there. But hey, we did it and spent trillions of dollars. We got a neighboring country that's causing drug problems and that's causing a lot of people coming over here. I ain't afraid of them. Y'all, some people are. It's like coming over here because they're afraid of the drug cartels over there. Yet you can't do what you got to do to get that to stop. You don't even let Americans know that that's the problem. You just kind of make them into like bad people. I'm like, no, not at all. They come to our country and commit less crimes than any American citizen. Stats prove that. So it's not about crime. It's not even about solving the problem. It's about having a wedge issue to get a portion of the country excited or hateful. If you don't have that, think about it. What do politicians have to win anything if they don't have hatred and division? Republicans and Democrats alike, when you talk about that border, Republicans are the ones who demonize them. Therefore, they get their crowd of Americans on that hate train. Democrats talk about they're just coming over too fast, but they're good people, which they are. And I understand that too. But neither one of them deal with the problem on why it's happening. Wedge issue. So when you got something else, people talk about kitchen table stuff. I'm like, okay, you got one party, not even party. Get away from the party. You got rich people. When it comes to like the price of things, it's not Republican or Democrat. It's billionaire and average person. But see, they throw it into politics and say, the Republicans want, business and accountability. And Democrats want to just spend our money in big government. No, it's billionaire and lesser class. That's what the economy stuff about. All of you guys want to be able to feed your families, want to have living wage jobs, all that. But they get you thinking like, they're getting $15 a minimum. No way. I'm like, yo, you tell me you can live off of $15 an hour. Getting a full-time job. I don't care where you live in the United States. It used to be that things were really, really cheap in almost in Midwest states and things of that nature. I remember when I bought my house many, many years ago. I'm from Indiana, but I live in California. I bought my house and it was really low. It was worth a lot now, but it was really low compared to California. I was excited about it. I went to the Midwest and was telling people how much I spent for my house. They're like, what? You ain't even got driving lawnmower backyard and all this stuff like that. I went to Indiana and I literally went to go see how much I paid for my house, what it would get me in Indiana. I was like, holy crap. I think if I liked snow, I would have went back home. But I can't stand snow. So I can look at it, but I ain't about to live in it. But I saw the acreage in which I would have got. And I get their point. But then I'm like, no, I don't want to live here though, bro. It just ain't a thing for me. Right? But those types of differences, but no matter what it is, we all want to have a better life. And once we get on that train instead of on these party trains, you'll understand that these differences, especially in economics, it's about rich people and it's about poor people. The people in between can easily be drawn to the rich side because you think poor people don't pull themselves up by their bootstraps, not realizing that not too long prior, you were poor. And you think they can do what you can do. All this divisiveness. And it's like, yo, not everybody wants to be a billionaire and nobody really wants to be poor. Everybody, I believe, wants to be comfortable at the minimum. There are many people who just say, oh, if I can make enough just to pay my bills, put a little money aside and go fishing every Saturday. Dude, I can go that way till God calls me home. Then there's others who want a jet and a Bugatti and, you know, a girlfriend every week and all this other shit and the yachts and they want all that. Difference. And they can have all that. But why you got to hate on other people? It's the choice you make. Thank you for joining, Sister Soul. You gifted a membership. Thank you. But that's the way I look at it. I love snow. I hate cleaning it up and shoveling it. I am telling you, me and Snow we broke up. We had a nasty divorce. Nasty. And I'm messing with you. Yeah, I can't stand cold. It shoots up my spine. It's a wrap. Yo, I'm like, oh shit. I remember growing up in Indiana, but I was going to Ball State at one time in the 90s, and that's my college I went to. And I remember waiting on that shuttle bus. And it wasn't the worst, but one of the worst winters that was there. And I was bundled up, man. I mean, bundled. Like it was like Ralphie or whatever his name was in Christmas Story. I'm all bundled up. And I'm trying to stay warm. But there was just, in the back of my coat, I had a long coat, the back of my coat and my undershirt had just came out my pants, whatever. That wind went up my back, boy. I was right there saying, I'm leaving Indiana. California's on my way. I'm like, I'm going there. Ain't no way in hell I'm staying in Indiana. That coldness went up my spine, yo. Oh, I was like doing this and shit the whole time on the bus back. I'm like, hold on. I can't stand that feeling. Can't stop shaking. Yeah, so I was like, nah, I'm out. It's a wrap. Warm weather, here I come. California is the place I need to be. So yeah, I couldn't stand that cold. But I can visit it. I can't live in it, though. I can visit it. You ain't gonna get me to say, yeah, I'm gonna pack up my bags and move. I will visit you for a good month. Max. I remember I used to come back when I was married and think I took my kids back to see the parents and all that, family. It was a max that no longer than a week for me. If it was a week, I was like, oh, I'm out. You know, but it is kind of different. But anyway. So yeah. So I don't like the cold, but those are the things that I love California, but can't afford it on disability. Yeah, it could be expensive out here. It could be. It is expensive compared to other states. You know, I like different places. I haven't been to a lot. I was in Atlanta or Georgia. We were supposed to go to Atlanta. We was in a small area of Atlanta on vacation with my group, Chocolate Music Lab. And we was on a palatial estate. It's like when they say palatial, it was just 13 acres. Wasn't a farm, but they had a lake on it, 2 houses, total of 3 houses on the property, but we only had access to 2. And the second house we called the big house because it was like it was up a little bit up the mountain, a little bit, whatever you want to call it. It's not really a mountain, but the uphill. And both of the houses was really nice. We had a great time. But yeah, it's crazy. But it wasn't during the winter time, thank goodness. It was chilly. I think it was near It was during the fall. Good to say thank you, sister. Let me get y'all real quick before I get up out of here. We're still talking about the weather as far as about rich versus poor, Monica. Most definitely, it's a rich versus poor situation for the most part. There's multiple levels. We got rich and poor. We got racism and things of that nature. We got sexism. We got people who are against a different class of people, the LGBTQIA as well. It's a lot. And it's like, again, what is the core? What is it that we want in life? Those are the things we need to be talking about, and exclude the party stuff, because it really comes down to, what do you want? We need to see Canadians and Mexicans as fellow earthlings, that we are all one. Most definitely, Rude. David says they use fear, hate, jealousy, the party of good Christian values. I was just talking about that. I don't know if I said it in here. I'm pretty sure I did, but I said it in my TikTok show. Is that people, I said, you don't want to have that conversation with me. I mean, I grew up in a Christian family, Southern Baptist at one point, but I was a latchkey kid. So Southern Baptist was with my mom when I went to my aunt and my step grandmother and stuff of that nature. And one of my cousins, they had a church. So we would go to their church, Southern Baptist. Grew in that until I was probably 10, 11. Then I started going to my uncle's family, his wife and his kids, stepkids church, which was Jehovah's Witness. I would go with them because my mom had to work. So I was at Southern Baptist, Jehovah's Witness. I went to non-denominational with one uncle or aunt. In college, I went to Methodist for the first time, which that turned out to be my church for a long time. That's when I really got a chance to talk to my pastor and ask a lot of questions, who was finally honest with me about things he just didn't know and didn't make sense. I did Bible study we had a Bible study, which was crazy. This is why I love that pastor, is that we did a Bible study, whereas I mentioned to him, I said, why don't we have a Bible study with multiple religions? And he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, let's have one with rabbi and, we're Methodists and, other people. And we got Latter-day Saints and I guess it's Lutheran or whatever, and just have us all have a Bible study. We ain't gotta hate on each other. We just talk about what we believe in. We ain't gotta make judgments about one another. And lo and behold, he had it. He had the meeting, and we went in there and we had a meeting with all these different types of religion in one room, reading out of individual Bibles and kind of explaining what they necessarily believe about it and what we thought different. And it went well. Everybody was cool and cordial, no anger, no nothing. It was just learning about it. And, some of these leaders already knew about other positions because they had been in them and they just decided to go to be a rabbi or whatever. But it was all about just saying, okay, what is the core of all this? Loving your neighbor, loving this and that, respect this and all that and the other. So it was really cool. And you was learning about different ways of doing things, not angry. Not because it was different from when I grew up. When I was growing up in the 70s, going to Southern Baptist and went to Jehovah's Witness, all they talked about was disrespectful crap about every other religion, how they didn't know God and we're the only ones who did. And by the time I gotten here in my late 20s, early 30s in the Methodist church, and that pastor, because a different pastor wasn't the same, but this pastor came, it became a whole different ball game. It became love thy neighbor, no matter what religion, whatever it is, and be respectful. And I was like, oh, I love this. But then, that pastor left and they brought a little deceitful, little hateful ass pastor there that had nothing but negative things to say. I didn't know, all my other pastors, I didn't know whether they were Republican, Democrat, Independent. I didn't know nothing about that. I just knew about the church. They brought in some hateful Republican dude. Just, you knew he was Republican because all he talked about was Republican points of view. And I'm like, what does that got to do with Jesus? So I started doing again, researching, and hung out with the other pastor and realized that religion was just not for me, because it has too many people that have taken it and made it hateful, made it divisive as hell. And if you're supposed to believe in God or Jesus, God is love. Show me where the love is in your church. And when you lack it, how can you even reach God? You feel me? So those are the types of things where I'm like, you say some of the most hateful shit, but yet you say you're a part of a church. You believe in religion and you believe in God and you believe in Jesus. I asked, and my last show, I said, I challenge you to find God in your life. I challenge you, if you are a person who say they believe in God, find God or Jesus in your life and tell us what it is. Because Jesus will wash the feet of the homeless. And when you talk about somebody washing the feet of a homeless, you never picture a Republican. You can picture a Democrat, a liberal. You can picture them washing somebody's feet because they make bills that actually help people. You guys make bills that make you money, bills that make rich people richer. You don't create anything to help the average guy or girl lift up. And you guys say you're the business people. What I just said is a conservative way of doing things, giving the money, subsidies to the middle class, the small business, and larger and mid-sized businesses, because now they're pulling themselves up. But you don't want to do that. You want to give it to rich. So tell me, what do you got that literally is Christ-like in your culture of Republicans? You have nothing. Take the cross off. Stop yelling Christ's name. Stop yelling Jesus' name. Stop yelling Christianity, because there's nothing about you that screams Christianity. You don't do anything for anybody. You allowed your churches during this running for president, you allowed your churches to literally call Donald Trump the next Messiah, sacrilegious that you worship a God. In your Bible, it says, thou shalt not worship a false idol. And Donald Trump is your false idol. I don't see any Democrat worshiping anybody. These people worship an orange man as if Paula White, acting like bowing to him. You're supposed to bow to your God or Jesus, but not to man. It says it in your Bible. You have not read this, yet you're leading. It gets back to the point of these people don't have the merit to be Christians. They just believe because they're white, and that false picture of a white God, of a white Jesus, makes them think they're closer to it. How about I give you a little information real quick before I bounce? If you believe you are a Christian and you go to church every day, month, week, whatever you go, and you walk into that church and you look up and you see that man looking back at you that's supposed to be Jesus, and then you look into the Bible and you find the verse in which it says, thou shalt not worship a false idol, because you can't get into heaven if you do so, then tell me where you trying to get to by going to church when you look at that picture. Because in the Bible, it has one description of how Jesus looked: wool hair, bronze feet. Tell me, when has a white person ever had wool hair or bronze feet? You haven't. So the person you look at in that church is a false idol. Therefore, you can't make it into heaven by worshiping that thing. So how are you Christian? You can't be. By your own definition, you cannot be. So who are you worshiping? I'm worried that these people really think that this man was Jesus, and then they want to tell you, you should not do this and thou shalt not. That's why they were so easy to fall when Donald Trump came, because he found out that they were fake Christians. They call him a Christian. He's not a Christian. How can he be a Christian when he doesn't even know a verse in the Bible? When they asked him, when he quoted something about that he saw something, this man said 2 Corinthians. Right then, any person who's been to a church in their life knows that he's never been to a church. Not and listened, he didn't. Go look at it. It's online somewhere. It says, he said 2 Corinthians, not like his best verse. He just looked at it and read it, I guess, and he said 2 Corinthians. Tells you he never read the Bible, because it's 2 Corinthians. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. And people out here, oh, his second coming. You are not Christ-like. You're more like Satan. pretending to be Christ so that you can move the people, that you can get power from the people. Instead of deserving that power, you lie and use what allows people to fall, is that they want to get closer to a power that loves them for being them. And you guys use the idea of Christ and God to control people, to give them your money, your time, and eventually the power. And once they fall into that belief, they're easily sheep to believe in the things that you say and spew at the pew, the pulpit, rather. And at that pulpit, when you're up there on that microphone saying some of the most egregious things, they should be walking out. But because they're trained like puppies, they'll sit there and wait for you to throw them the next bone. And just chomp at the bit at bullshit. You bit no understand that Bible than a child. But you know that Bible gives you power over people. You have a king complex. You want to rule people. So you get behind that pulpit and you rule them. They don't even realize they're being trained like puppies. Sit, kneel. Because if you were really close to God, close to Christ, you be doing Christ-like things, Republicans. And ain't nothing about you screaming Christ. Just your mouth. And if you really like God or like Christ, it is in your works that we recognize him, not in your lips. Am I lying? It's in your works that we shall see Christ or God. You have to say God's name in order for us to know that you're a Christian. It should be in your works that make us know that you are. So stop saying you're Christian and showing us. And if you can't show us, then you really aren't one, are you? Let's see what we got here. I'm about to, what is this? I see it. Actions speak louder than words. There you go, Rude. So that's just the truth as it is. You don't like it, I get it. But most people in here get it, though. I ain't talking about anybody else sees this that might scroll upon this on TikTok or TikTok on YouTube. But we're about to get up out of here. I appreciate you guys. I'm not Christian. I read the Bible, and that's when I knew I couldn't believe it. Yeah, if you read the Bible, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. But I'm a believer in, when I look at it, I look at outside, the trees, the air, the earth, the stars, and I know man didn't create that. So I'm saying there's something bigger than me. And so I look at that. I look at that source. I got the basis of, religion and Christianity and all this stuff in my head, and listening to my friends who are Jewish, listening to my friends who, are Jehovah's Witness and other cultures, Buddhists, learning about them. And I learned it's like, you know what, we all kind of want the same things, peace, love, treat people with respect. And so if you really look at your inner child, not unless you were some kind of shit child that your parents just raised a turd, but more than likely each child already had that in them. It was built inside you. Almost every child knows how to love. You just learn how to be hateful. If you just would factory reset and take yourself back to just love, then you can start to understand that you may be a shit and you need to work on that and get right back to that factory default. All the crap you've learned has been lies, right? And even if you witness some of them, you witness one or two people in that culture, not the entire culture. So those preconceived notions of an entire group of people are false and need to be worked on. But first, that comes to taking responsibility for your actions, responsibility for your thought processes, and being able to fix them. Seek some sense of therapy or connection with the people that you hate or think they need to pull themselves up. You will really find that most people in this country work their ass off. Just because they're not getting paid what they're worth doesn't make them worthless. They just have a core group of people in this country that are willing to make people work their ass off and pay them crap and laugh about the fact that you're paying them trash and that you're making most of the profit. It says more about you than it does them, because they're working, they're putting in the work. You're the one that's taking advantage of them. And that's deceitful. It's not Christ-like. And hopefully, if you ever reach heaven or wherever it is at the other world, that you're punished for your actions. That's my prayer, that you're punished for the evil that you do in this country. If there is a heaven or hell or God for that matter, or Jesus, hopefully they see you for who you are and punish you accordingly. That's what I see. But anyway, I'm about to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a pleasure. Hey, what's going on, One African World? Keep up the great work. Much love. Much love to you as well. All the people here, my moderators, much love to you. I see you guys. I see you, Rude. I see you, Vera. Oh, I didn't even put up, like, I'll be playing my own stuff, be messing up. This is how you can support me. This is, if you're already here, if you know any people, go ahead. That's how you can become a member. If you're not a member, please do become one. Working on the membership meetings and stuff like that. That's why I think we should strategize and start talking about what we want this country to look like, and just hang out and chill. Nothing structured, somewhat like this, but I do have plans here to do stuff to talk about. There, I think I'm just going to have fun, just have behind the scenes stuff. But that's how you can reach me in that. And then if you can donate to the show, there it is right there. All the different things, whether it's Cash App or this PayPal, whether it's Zelle. Like I said, I had to get Zelle, didn't have it. Somebody asked for it. So so that whole process, if you want to donate to the show, I appreciate it. Let me go through and listen to the people who says, thank you. Welcome, Lynn. Take care. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow after 5 p.m. Sister Soul, much love to be able to see you today. I appreciate you. I haven't seen you around here, but I'm glad you're here. I don't know, can I bring up pictures in here? No. TikTok, you can actually select a picture and be able to see a bigger picture. I always want to see people. That's another thing. I got to get it so that when for the members, I want to bring people up and talk to y'all person to person. These pictures and stuff like that is impersonal. I'm a very personal person. Even though I talk, I'm a personal person. So I like to see you, hear your voice, get to know you. All right. Love you too, Rude. Fight the power, most definitely, Earthkeeper. Oh, y'all, much love to y'all. So, Mark D, what's going on? Good night. Good night, Nina. And yeah, we're going to do that on in the next week or so. I'm going to try and get that stuff set up so that we can get on here and figure out how we can get everybody in line and talk to everybody in the room. Okay? All right, you guys have a great night. Be safe, as always. Much love, and I'll see you when I see you.